Hey everyone, it's already the last week of class, and this is our last discussion. The time really did fly by really fast this session, especially since it's a 6 week class instead of a 7 week. I'm going to go ahead and read my final discussion. What is the greatest takeaway from this class in regards to assessment? In regards to assessment, there are a few big takeaways for me. First, without reliable, valid, consistent, and fair assessment, educators cannot teach effectively. Second, it is crucial that educators be aware of assessment biases and how they can affect assessments. What do you need to know more about, and how will you continue to educate yourself in this area? Truthfully, this session has been a blur for me with everything going on. I generally have a difficult time coping with life, but throw in a pandemic and health issues, and for a while I was non-functional, going about my day to just get things done while in a fog, classwork included. This way of approaching learning is not effective for me, or anyone for that matter. Generally, this is not optimal learning, but life has not stopped during this pandemic, so I guess we have to just do what it takes to get by sometimes. All of that to say that I feel that I did not retain much during this shortened session. I need to know more about everything. A few things I can do to continue educating myself in this area is seeking help from those who are experienced and knowledgeable about assessments. Read articles or watch videos on information regarding assessment and review material from ED 579. I do not know where I would find the time to do these things, but at least I know some basics to help me prevent the major issues within assessment. How should any assessment inform practice? Assessments that are reliable, valid, consistent, and fair can help educators teach effectively by informing them where students are and where and how to go from there. Popham informs readers that assessment is used for determining students' current status, monitoring students' progress, assigning grades to students, and to determine instructional effectiveness. On another note, Van and Bose explain the features of effective instruction. 1. Assessing progress. 2. Designing instruction, which includes determining goals of instruction, flexible grouping, adaptations, scaffolding, careful use of instructional time. And 3. Delivering instruction, which includes quick pacing, sufficient opportunities for student response, and error feedback. Teaching effectively does not seem possible without assessment. And that's because we need assessment to assess progress. We need assessment to be able to design instruction, to design flexible grouping, to know that we need to use adaptations and scaffolding, and to know where we're using careful use of instructional time. We also need assessment for delivering instruction as well. In assuring that children who have been alternately assessed, is that information readily shared by those specialists for the site or district? Though this information that should be readily shared by other professionals, though this is information that should be readily shared by other professionals, this may not always be the case. As Dr. Brady shared in a class meeting, not too sure which, as Dr. Brady shared with us, sometimes teachers may not even be aware that one of their students has a learning difficulty or is an ELL. What additional support in that area would be helpful? Discuss the emotional impact of assessment on children and how that can be minimized by thoughtful use of inclusion of students into the process. In regards to emotional impact, assessment and tests can cause students to experience anxiety, which I discuss in an M1 peer response, which is linked here. Some effective ways to minimize this emotional impact include, but are not limited to, preparing students, offering varied forms of assessment, including student interest, creating and maintaining an effective environment for student learning, and teacher understanding. All right, well, I look forward to seeing you guys in our last week of discussions, and hopefully this was helpful. I'll see you around in discussions. Bye.